the 8th. To explain exactly what it's all about, I'm joined by the organiser, Souza. Good morning there, welcome to you. So, first of all then, what exactly is King's Daughters?
King's Daughters, it's just a movement that exists to support and encourage women all over the world.
And have there ever been events like this happening in the UK or indeed in Gloucestershire before?
We had King's Daughters conference last September in Gloucester at the Gloucester Guildhall, and it was a roaring success, exceeded my expectations. And what we've done since then is we meet weekly, hosting girls' nights all over the county, and more recently we've started girls' nights in Africa and in Brazil.
Why do you think it's necessary to have almost like a female-focused event on a weekly basis, when obviously you've got a normal Sunday or whatever day church happens to be, but why do you feel it's necessary to have something separate for women?
We felt in our church that, especially in this nation, the roles of male and female have got confused. And so what we've tried to do is separate the men and women and really look into what it means to be a man, what it means to be a woman, and with the hope that when we bring them together, we'll be building healthy families.
Obviously, there are some very inspiring women within the Bible, and I think often conferences like this might look to them. You hear about Ruth,
yes,
and people like that who you perhaps can look up to understand how you can be a woman for God.
Yes, last year the main message was based on Esther. We had a look at Esther, and then more recently I've released a book called Esther or Delilah, looking at two great women, how the one influenced the nation and how the other destroyed a nation.
What do you think you can take from those characters? I mean, what's the premise of those books there then, and how can that help women today?
I think there's a lot of mixed messages at the moment. The media, movies, Hollywood, they're telling us all sorts of things and trying to mold us as women. What we've tried to do is get back to the biblical basis. What did God mean when he made a woman? And then we study that and try to apply that to our lives.
How does the day run? Is it all sort of focused on various different biblical characters, or is it a case of actually just having a time of, like you might do in a normal church service, right, let's have a time of worship? And do the songs change particularly because of it?
Don't think of a church service. Think more of a West End musical, theatre production, something grand, something just also period. We've tried to focus on the feel of the pump room, so we've tried to do a very period things. We have a classical ballerina coming in, we have a gospel, a choir coming in, we have D7 band, which will be doing more rock style worship. We have several guest speakers coming in. And we've just tried to make it really an experience where they have just a day off, a refreshing day, and hopefully an encounter with God.
Now, you're a mum, so therefore you almost need to have that day off as well. Is there an idea that, I mean, it's not quite pampering, but in some ways you do almost want to be able to allow women to go and have some time away from almost like the household chores that they get so wound up with every week?
Yes, we've really tried to achieve that. We've worked on it since September last year, so we've really tried to make it something that they've never experienced before. We do have some pampering. We have someone coming in doing mini manicures as well. And we also have a new section, which is Women in Business. We've noticed that there are many women in business, and so what we've done is we've allocated a part of the pump room, and we've brought in a guest speaker to chat to the women in business to support them.
Apart from that session then, what are some of the other topics you'll be looking at?
The theme for this year is You Are More. So we're looking at you are more than a conqueror, you are more than your age, you are more than your past, you are more than a coincidence, you are more with Jesus, various you are more topics. So we're trying to help the women see that they are more, and there is more to life than they're probably experiencing at the moment.
What was the feedback from last year's session?
Well, last year's session, it was really, really encouraging to hear how much the women got from it. I wasn't sure what to expect. It was our very first one, so I was really nervous, and there was life change, and that's what we hope for, is life change. The main comments that came back there were the men. We have the D7 men that come in and they serve the women, and they try and make them feel really special. They dress up in a tuxedo, they do whatever they can. And we did have a lot of feedback about how amazing the men were and how they made the women feel really special.
Sometimes I guess the idea that they do want to get involved in some way, if
They
nothing
do.
else, just to have a bit of an idea.
They
What do
do.
they do at these events?
The men loved it as much as the women.
And how can people get involved?
Well, people can get involved by helping on the day. Men are welcome to also join the team. The women are not allowed to do any work on the day, so the only way they can get involved is to buy a ticket and come and enjoy themselves.
How much does it cost and when does it run?
It's from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. It includes 3 meals. It's £35 for a ticket, but we do have a £20 option that does not include meals, and a £10 option, which is just for the evening part.
And how, I mean, because the Pump Rooms is a big place, so when you were, it was Guildhall, wasn't it, last year?
Yes.
You know, so that kind of number, are there that many that want to be able to have this day almost away from the household chores in order to be able to go and celebrate together?
I have women interested from Ireland and a group of women coming over from Jersey Islands. Because of the demand, next year we are going to attempt to live stream it to other venues in other countries that are running with King's Daughters at the moment. So it will be an international conference next year. There is that need, there is that demand for it.
And you talk about the other places in the world. How are they involved? Is that just a case of them being, you know, sort of sending people over here, or there is a similar sort of thing which happens in these other countries?
What we've tried to do is duplicate, to mirror what we started here. We originally started just one girls' night here, and other women just wanted that, and I didn't realize how much of a need there was for that sort of thing for women. So what I've done is I've sent the exact material, teaching materials that we use, sent it over to Africa, to Zimbabwe, South Africa, Uganda, Kenya, loads of places, Brazil, America, Canada. I mean, it's everywhere at the moment. So what I do is I just provide them with the materials and as much support as possible, keep in touch with them, and they pretty much do what we do, but just molding it slightly to suit their culture.
When women get together, is it different to when it's both sexes together, when it is a normal Sunday service or whatever other event might be taking place within a church environment? Is it different when women are together, purely just as women?
It is different. It is very different. I can't put my finger on exactly what's different, but it's different. And we do get down to talking about the real stuff straight away. I know that the men's group took about 2 years before they got down to talking about real things, heart-to-heart things, whereas the women just seem to instantly get down to business and talk about heart matters. And they really want to be more. There's a hunger amongst women to really be more, to be godly women, to be different from what the media is telling us we should be.
And that's all, you know, even in the papers today, there's a lot of talk about, you know, when you've got all the athletes as well and you're seeing them in their outfits. Is that an issue, therefore, that sometimes does need to be addressed, and almost having an all-women conference is a place to go and do it?
Yes. I think women generally tend to compare themselves to other women, and that's always been a problem. And so even with sports stars and celebrities and things like that, it's easy to look at them, make assumptions and guess about who they are or what their life's like. And so what we tend to do is use the Bible as our foundation. We try and make sure we're comparing ourselves to the Word of God and to no one else.
So just quickly recap, when exactly is it all taking place?
8th of September.
At the
Pitfall Pump Rooms?
Yes. Starts at 11 o'clock. And you can get the tickets from there, or where do you get them from?
You can get them from the website, kingsdaughtersconference.co.uk, or from the Cheltenham Town Hall.
Fantastic stuff. Well, have a wonderful time. That's
you.
Angela de Souza, who is organising the conference King's Daughters at the Pitfall Pump Rooms in Cheltenham.